It's been a while, but this requires no introduction, so let's get into it, shall we? Today, we're going to talk about a trans YouTuber by the name of Blaire White. And for those who don't know, this is Blaire White. And today, we're going to talk about how she's transphobic. Now, before I get comments saying, "Oh, but how can she be transphobic? She's a trans woman. Trans people can't be transphobic." Yes, they absolutely can. They can absolutely be transphobic. And this is how they can be transphobic. They could be transphobic by saying that if a trans person, say a trans woman, doesn't adhere to their standards of what a trans woman should look like, then they aren't a trans woman. And vice versa. If a trans man doesn't adhere to what a trans man should look like, then they aren't a trans man and that they're just a poser or a trans trender, as Calvin Gura would say. Now, how should a trans woman look? Now, people say that trans women should be, according to transphobic trans people, that they should be hyper-feminine, big boobs, face full of makeup, thick thighs, hourglass figure, wearing dresses 24/7, long, beautiful golden hair that flows in the wind. But not all trans women's gonna look like. Alright? Trans women can be whatever they want to be. Alright? Trans women can be butch. They can be, a butch lesbian type, where they still have, their short hair, maybe it's like shaven on one side, and they prefer wearing overalls over dresses, and that is just fine. That is A-okay. But when a trans woman who is hyper-feminine, like Blaire White herself, and she's all like, "Oh, well, if you're not what I see as a trans woman like myself, then you're not a trans woman." And let's not forget that Blaire White is a Trump supporter, that she hangs out with Trump supporters. She has a hat that says "Make America Great Again," which that's always lovely for a trans person to wear, because I'm 99% sure if she went to an LGBT rally or LGBT walk or whatever, and she's like, "I'm a trans woman, look at my hat," I'm pretty sure the entire LGBT community would get fucking pissed. They would probably take that hat off and light it ablaze. I know I would. And another thing, not all trans men are going to be hyper-masculine, as the media wants them to be out to be like, "Oh, trans men are just regular men." Well, that is true. Trans men are men. But they're like, "Oh, they're just like regular men. They're all muscly and they got 12 pecs and they got a 14-inch long dick." No. And I'm not saying that trans men can't have a 14-inch dick, because if they do, they're blessed as fuck. But, if trans men still want to wear, skirts, then that's fine. If a trans man's like, "Oh, I don't get dysphoria from wearing a skirt," or, if I don't get dysphoria from wearing a dress, or from wearing pink, or feminine colors, if trans men want to wear dresses, skirts, leggings, Mary Jane shoes, or whatever, then that is just fine. If trans women want to wear suits, that's also fine. Trans men and trans women are not what people want them to be in, or even, how Blaire White does it. Because if you were to look at some of her thumbnails, she takes people who are non-binary, or a trans woman that doesn't pass too well, and photoshops beards and mustaches onto them, and uses, wrong people in her thumbnails. And she also followed the makeup tutorial of Jonathan Yaniv, who is a predator who tried claiming that he was trans, because he's not fucking trans. I'm just gonna get that out there right now. Don't ask me to do a video on him, because he's fucking sick. If you want an example of what Blaire White does, here's a great example. This person is non-binary. That's a non-binary person. They don't have a beard. They don't have that. That beard was photoshopped on. This person doesn't have a beard. This is just what they look like, okay? Get rid of the beard. That's what they look like. And Blaire White thought it'd be a totally funny idea to Photoshop a beard onto this person, because they called her out on being transphobic. Which, by the way, she fucking is. If she wants to debate me on this, I will happily debate her. Blaire White also did this, which, that's a drag queen. This person is a drag queen. A drag queen, of course, is just a guy who, dresses up all feminine, lipstick, hair. And if a drag queen wants to keep her beard, she's allowed to keep her beard. Drag queens don't need to be hyper-feminine. There's a drag queen out there who has a bald head. I think her name is Sasha Velour. But if a drag queen wants to keep her beard, then that's fine. And if a trans woman wants to keep maybe her sideburns, or if she has a little bit of facial hair, then that's fine too. Trans people don't owe this bitch anything. Friendly reminder that this thumbnail was used for a video called I'm a Predator, but it's okay because I'm a trans woman. When that's not even the person. That's not the person that she was talking about. This person is a drag queen with a beard who is reading books to children, and this person is actually a very sweet individual from the videos that I've seen of her. This person's a very sweet individual. Not that crazy bitch right there. She's rude as hell. And this person's a really sweet individual. So, Blaire White, do you mind explaining this bullshit? She did eventually change the thumbnail to the actual person in the video. But why would you lie and use a drag queen as a quote-unquote trans predator? And the non-binary person that I mentioned earlier, this person right here, I'm going to show you what they actually look like. This is what the non-binary person actually looks like. No beard. So Blaire photoshopped the beard onto this lovely individual. Why? Does she think this is a fucking joke? Does she think that I'm a trans woman, so I can get away with this bullshit? I'm a happy-go-lucky trans woman. By the way, you're a trans woman, right? Oh, yeah, why? You're why the fuck are you like that? Why don't you have big titties like me? It's like, well, I'm sorry, Blaire, that trans women are treated like absolute shit, and you came from a privileged place where you were finally able to, be able to get, all this stuff that you need. You know what? You had a supporting family. You have a supportive life, and yet people seem to love you. But, okay, I see how it is. Let's not forget that Blaire White is also racist because she did, this. And now before you say, oh, it's just a face mask, then tell me why she captioned it with Blaire Black, intersectional trans feminist, depressed, mentally ill, hashtag Black Lives Matter, non-binary dragonkin. Yeah, okay, that's totally okay. Yeah. Blaire, I think it's time about you take a fucking break and go fucking jump off or something. I don't know. I'm not saying you should die, but I'm saying that you need to fucking get your brain fixed or you're going to be stuck with this bullshit mentality for the rest of your life.